Hello everyone and welcome back to more spoopy time in the letter. We are back for more Rebecca's point of view. Yay! We are back again. In the last episode, what basically happened was school day, and during our school day, we found Luke there because he was basically acting as a guardian to Kylie, and because I think her parents were out of town that day, and it was career day. There was an event going on at school, because that's why he's there. Oh yeah, and also why Hannah isn't there is because she was there on the day to go get a doctor's checkup, as well as go furniture shopping that we saw in Zachary's point of view. So anyways, yeah. So Rebecca, to her dismay, runs into Luke and Kylie, and she was there, and yeah, he was there, and they had a little bit of a bantering going on again. But then, of course, during that in that time, Rebecca sees a little bit more to Luke than what meets the eye kind of thing, and she realizes, hey, he's not such a bad person, and maybe he's a guy who has somewhat of a baggage carried with him, and sort of in his relationship with Hannah and such, because Kylie just kind of like offhandedly, with like not without meaning to, brought it up, and he was just being a good kind of like guardian figure to her, like a role model in a way, where she was just like, oh, you don't need to marry anyone rich or handsome, you do you kind of girl, like you awesome, like by yourself, you don't need anyone else to tell you that kind of thing. And yeah, so that was a really like kind of surprising moment for Rebecca. She's like, oh wow, like you're a decent kind of person. And of course Luke tries to play it off, and then had more conversations where she's just lamenting on Luke's character and how complex it is, and Luke is just giving off a little bit more hints as to what his deepest troubles might have been, until Kylie comes back after running off to meet her friend to give jelly babies to them. But she comes back, she's crying, and she was like, oh my god, one of my friends is in the washroom and she won't come out, even though I've asked her to, and she just won't talk to me. And so we go over to the washroom, we check on her friend, and we're like, as Rebecca, and we're like, oh, are you okay? Her name is Melody, I think it was. Yeah, so we were checking up on Melody, and then we went into the bathroom to see what she's crying about. But then of course the crying stops, and we turn around, we see Kylie all possessed and shit, like kind of like with Zachary, where she's all like, why don't you help her? She's crying and she's asking for your help, why didn't you go to her? And we're like, oh my god, what the hell is happening? Rebecca has is going through another episode again whenever she encounters these supernatural things, where like she gets super dizzy, she's nauseous, she hears whispering and blah blah blah, and she's freaking out. And afterwards, when she like opens her eyes again, and she turns back to Kylie's normal, Kylie's worried. And before Kylie could run off to go get Luke, we rush off ourselves back to the classroom, and we leave that incident behind us. But then afterwards, Marianne calls, and she was like really kind of like antsy about something, but then eventually she got around to asking us about the mansion, and we were like, okay, we gave her like a little brief rundown history of the mansion, but it's not anything new that we heard about. And the same, so that again, Marianne is the same on that, and she was just, so that prompted her to asking us about the letter. She's like, oh yeah, just like casually, offhandedly, she's just like, is that it, like nothing about a letter or some shit like that. And that caught Rebecca's attention, and Rebecca's like, oh, what letter kind of thing, where even though on the inside she's like, wait a minute, a letter a letter, this too kind of thing. So Rebecca kind of has that thought internally, but outwardly she tells Marianne, no, there's no letter in the story or the history of the mansion involved. And then Marianne kind of hangs up on us at that, and she's just like, okay, that's all I wanted to ask, bye kind of thing. And so that got Rebecca thinking, that kind of got her really worried, and it's like, okay, now this is something fishy going on with the letter. And so now she's kind of like trying to like piece it together a bit slowly, kind of ish. But then before when the day comes to an end, she runs into Luke again and Kylie. Luke was offering her to take her out to dinner on Kylie's request, but before we can either say no or yes to him, we get a text message from Ashton saying he was going to drop by our place, and so we had to choose between either going with Luke for dinner or to meet up with Ashton right at that moment. I chose to meet up with Ashton at that moment because from the flow of things, how Rebecca wanted to ask Ashton about going to the housewarming party with her. So, and because from Hannah's point of view, I figured, I was like, it kind of makes sense, because like Rebecca was there with him anyway, so I guess with the flow of events, she'll go meet Ashton, and then she'll bring up the whole housewarming invite. And because we already know from Marianne's point of view that Ashton was working on a case related to Luke and his shady business, he would accept, of course, on the reason that he would do some investigation. But he didn't tell Rebecca that. So anyways, regardless, we meet up with Ashton, It turns out he was there for Isabella on Rose's case, but she's not there. She's currently MIA. We have no idea where she went after that whole incident where she was outside organizing files from her company, and that got Ashton worried. Rebecca kind of low-key picked up on that, kind of bothered her a bit, but then before Ashton was leaving, Rebecca was like, oh my god, wait, there's this housewarming party. He says no, of course, because it's not his thing, but then when we mentioned Hannah's name, he was like, oh shit, oh snap, this is good kind of thing, but he didn't, outwardly like express that. He was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll go, and then that, of course, that caught Rebecca off guard, because she's like, what, this isn't your thing, but okay, he's saying, yeah, I'll pick you up at 3 then, and we're like, oh, okay, and, of course, she didn't think nothing of it, because she's been pining and crushing after Ashton for so long, that it's like, wow, something that actually went, finally went the way I wanted to, and, she's got her little quote-unquote date with him now to the housewarming. So this is the next day, this is the day of the housewarming, and I said last episode when I was editing, I was like, oh yeah, maybe we would get to the housewarming in this episode, but now we didn't. But this time for sure, this is the housewarming episode. So yes, let's get to it. So the night wears on without further incident, despite the great number of thoughts swimming inside my head. Come morning, there's only a hush, a strange sort of stillness, unlike the ones greeting me every morn. This one's uneasy, tight with anticipation, like a string stretched thin, merely waiting for the proper time to snap. Yes. Granted, it doesn't make my day any less pleasant, but the edge is there. And as expected, the second I step out of my flat, it comes apart, broken by the voices of 2 squabbling adults echoing from a floor below. Ooh, who is this so early in the morning? What's going on? The quiet was nice while it lasted. Shame.
What the hell were you thinking?
Oh, is Isabella back? Oh, speaking of Isabella, because we were like, yeah, she's MIA. Where the hell did she go? It's been 2 days now.
I wasn't.
Oh, yes, it is. It's Ashton and Isabella. Just, hashing it out downstairs.
Ow! Could you let go?
Okay. Alright, guys. Guys, hello. Whoa, Isabella, haven't seen you, homegirl, for like 2 days now. Not a few seconds later, they both ascend the stairs, with Ashton pulling Isabella by her wrist. She struggles as she should, but his hold on her remains firm. Freeing herself means having to draw blood as she attempts to pry his hand off with her other one, or using unnecessary force to push herself away. Neither of which is better than the other. One could potentially end in an accident, while the other means having to hurt him physically. Now, children. She has the good sense to realize that at least. However, it doesn't take the desperate edge in her voice when she answers Ashton's temper with her own. Yeah, and so on they go, none the wiser to my presence.
Do you have any idea how much trouble you could get in?
Did she break into the Ermengarde mansion? Oh my god.
That's why I'm asking you for help.
Oh, okay.
Is this what you've been doing these past 3 days? Because this doesn't make your case convincing, Isabella.
Or maybe not necessarily breaking into the Ermengarde mansion, but more like maybe staking out there? Maybe?
Rose died, Ash.
Or maybe she broke into Rose's apartment and it's obviously quarantined as a crime scene investigation kind of thing. So it's like, Isabella, that's illegal.
I know. Every single person in Luxembourg knows. It's on the damn news. But that doesn't mean...
Yeah, that doesn't mean you can go out of line and just, do your own thing.
People are missing. Some of those are my friends. And BRC's just covering it all up.
That, or she broke into her company at night and just went through a whole shit ton of, confidential files, in her boss's office or some shit. I don't know.
You can't just barge into my office and expect me to do anything about it, right off the bat.
Oh, guys, come on, fill me in on the deets, man. Don't leave me out like this.
This isn't a children's game, Isabella. We have procedures. We have to follow protocol. There's red tape all over this case for a reason.
Yes.
We sure as hell don't investigate things just because some stupid letter spooked us.
Oh, but it all connects, though.
Ash, you have to believe me this time. If we don't do anything right now, more people will...
Yes.
It's been a whole week. This stupid letter prank is getting old real fast. I'm sick of it.
But, Ashton, you don't know that. That's, it's real. Come on. He doesn't have any spoops? Or maybe he's just being in denial right now? Who knows? We need to get to Ashton's point of view and see if that's true or not.
It was funny the first time. Not so much now.
Yes, I know, but, still.
You're the only one that can help me with this, Ash. Even Rebecca won't.
Yeah, Rebecca still low-key doesn't really believe it 100%, but she's getting there. She's starting to think this is really fishy, at least after with Marianne's phone call. So, alright, you two are awfully loud. I know. What time is it? I just woke up. What's going on here? Yes, both of their heads snap up almost in unison. A displeased frown is on each of their faces, but this is a necessary interruption. Yes, fill me in. What can they do? People still in their units have already taken interest on the commotion, with some taking a peek behind their curtains, while others are bold enough to creak open their doors, if only slightly. Oh my, nosy neighbors. If they don't keep it down, pretty soon our landlady will show up. Oh no, can't have that. Getting a reprimand from her is the last thing I want to happen first thing on a Friday morning, even if it is hardly my fault, right? Well, if you want to continue this, you two better do it elsewhere. You're disturbing other people. Yes, and we're drawing attention.
Don't worry, we're done here.
Okay.
No, we aren't!
Oh my.
Becca, I looked it up. I called them. I visited some of them, and...
And what?
Which you shouldn't have done in the first place.
Okay, so she was actually looking for people who's gone missing? What?
Isabella, you're going to create more problems for us with what you're doing. A team has already been assigned to it. Leave it to us.
I know, but you're like super slow on like, you know, the upkeep, you know? Like she's onto something at least.
Your precious team is looking at it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Becca, it's not just Rose. There are others.
Others that are dead that BRC hasn't disclosed? Because if that's the case, that is actually really worrying. That last bit strikes a chord, prods strongly at a memory. At that vicious smile already etched deeply inside my mind. Yes. The image appears clear enough that at the mere mention of it, I stumble on my own question. Oh, well, what do you mean?
The letter, Rebecca! It's not...
I know, it's not a fake.
It's nothing.
No, Ashton. I believe homegirl.
If there's really something going on because of that dumb letter, none of us would be standing here. We've all read it, haven't we?
Yes, technically yes, but like, dude, these things take time, okay? It creeps up on you.
But Rebecca's alive, Zach's alive, I'm alive. So for the last time, this isn't a curse.
It is a curse, actually. I've been seeing shit.
There's a murderer on the loose, and your coworkers happen to be the victims. Give it a rest, Isabella. It's too early for this shit.
Don't you think that's too much for a coincidence?
I agree with her.
Not so much. Most serial killers follow a pattern. I'll tell you about it some other time. And anyway, coincidence or not, the point is, civilians like you aren't supposed to get involved. You're putting yourself in danger.
Yes, that is technically true. I wasn't chasing after... Oh, why are voices disappearing all of a sudden? Will the both of you slow down and stop arguing for a minute, right? Fill me in. What's this about... What's this about your coworkers, Belle?
Becca, please don't tell me now you believe this shit.
No, shut up. I need to hear from her end, okay? For me to actually make some sort of conclusion. Okay, sure, in a heartbeat, I'll agree with Ashton. That's how it has always been. Besides having a very good point, really, they're the very same ones he'll make every time I ask too many questions. But the fact of the matter is, what he wants to hear from me right now is far from what I've been sensing these past few days. Exactly. It doesn't matter what Isabella or I believe on our own. Something odd has been happening around me, and that letter she picked up is at the heart of this. Yes. Alright, but however I respond to the question in their faces, only one of them will be pleased with it. Belle, you shouldn't be doing this. I might have seen her. I'm telling you the truth, girl. I'ma say it. It's better to be on this together and be informed of one another's knowledge rather than keeping each other in the dark about this. So I might have seen her. Yes, that definitely puts me up on that. And I think, I was at the line for him, I think. I really need to pay attention on what goes up and what goes down in terms of my meter, but I think for sure that's gonna push my meter down with Ashton. So Ashton in particular won't be too happy to hear it, yes. Imagining the look his face doesn't take too much effort, yes. His entire posture shifts the moment my reluctance shows, shoulders tensing, brows furrowing, eyes gaining a sharp edge. He's already bracing himself from the disappointment. And it will be a disappointment. Well, not until you actually experience it, Ashton. Come on. Not in a million years did I ever believe I'll be saying this either. I might have seen her, yeah. The woman Belle's been telling us about, the one she said she saw in the attic. Yes, both of them stare at me like I've grown an extra head, and for a few moments Ashton looks as if he's about to have a fit. Yes. A pause treads at its heels after a silence thick enough one can almost hear a pin drop. Oh, come on, Ashton, that has to give you some sort of hint, like Rebecca, who is, all facts straight, no bullshit kind of girl, is suddenly buying into this and agreeing into this, then something serious might have happened,
You're kidding, right?
Oh, come on. No, I'm not. Do I look like I'm joking?
Really, Becca? Not funny.
But I'm serious. That's the thing. Ash, I'm not lying. Why would I lie about this, right? It's been this way since the film fest. The past few days have been really odd since we read that letter. Last night you mentioned Zach hasn't been acting like himself. Maybe you should ask him too. Right, cause why we're supposed to be Zach. We last left off in Zach's point of view when he was at the Ermengarde. We told him to leave alone the whole screaming incident at the first floor window, and then Ashton called us and was like, "Get your ass over to Salemwell ASAP," and that was where we last left off.
Or maybe you're all just feeling under the weather.
No, Ash. God, Ash. I'm not sick. Don't you think I know that by now?
Becca, you're starting to sound like Scaredy Cat.
But it's true.
Give me a break.
Oh my god, Ashton. Why don't you...
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, you two.
That's fine. We didn't think... Anyways, who could have predicted this anyways, Isabella's voice cuts sharply through the conversation, abruptly putting an end to the brewing argument.
It's all my fault.
No, it's not.
This is all my fault.
I mean, the letter kind of fell out of your bag, so,
I was only hoping I could fix this before any of you. I'm sorry for dragging you all into this.
Yeah, no, it's fine. She breathes in, deep steadying, and in that moment, something falls behind her eyes as she looks away.
I'll fix this. I promise.
But girl, let's do this together. I'm already seeing this bitch anyway, so, let's, work this out together. A quiet resolve. The same one I saw in her that night from 3 days ago. But this time it burns brighter. Even Ashton wavers at its sight when she looks at him straight in the eyes, gaze unflinching. Gradually his grip on her wrist loosens.
Belle, there's nothing to fix. The problem is
there's a ghost.
Just this once, Ash.
Listen to me. Her voice, still small and lacking any force, stops him. Along with it, every sound, every noise dies around us, a hush descending as if the world is waiting for her words.
You don't have to come with me.
True.
But if I don't do anything, I am going to regret it.
Right, she's being at least proactive about this, okay? She lays a hand atop his. Gentle. Oh no, pleading. Almost intimate if one does not consider the circumstances we found ourselves in.
Please.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, Rebecca, don't. Not a time to get jealous. Ashton will never tell a soul, will never admit it even to himself, but it is in that short second that his own resolve breaks. The moment the hard edge in his eye softens and he relinquishes his hold on her, letting his hand fall limply to the side. Wordlessly, Isabella steps back and runs off, leaving only a muttered thanks and a small lackluster smile. Well, where is she going though? I want to go with... Hello? Only after the last of her footsteps fade away does Ashton move, breaking the silence with one of his sharp exhales before reaching up to pinch the bridge of his nose in a gesture of frustration and surrender.
Did you really have to tell her that?
Sorry. But it's true though. What do you want to hear from me then? That everything's fine?
No, I want all of you to stop putting these ideas in her head. None of it is helping.
But it's true though.
Never mind. Don't worry about her. I'll bring her back here.
He's already poised to leave when my own instinct takes over. I'm coming with you. I reach for him, gripping his elbow with the same unyielding grip, the action prompted by voices whispering at the back of my mind. He's already made it clear he's not going to believe me, but he deserves a word of caution. Who knows where all this will take us, how all this will end. He shouldn't be caught off guard, beliefs notwithstanding, yes. Ash, I know you don't believe in those things she's saying, and you know me. I'm as less inclined to believe in those things as you do. But I've seen something. Yes. So I've seen some shit, man. And it changed me, man. There's something strange going on here. You don't have to buy it, but if you don't have to buy it. If you don't want to listen to me, fine, but please try to hear her out. It's bad enough that Isabella goes off like this without telling anyone. I'm just worried something might happen to her if she keeps at it. Right. Talk to her, okay?
As if she trusts me enough for that.
Oh, come on. God. Doesn't the fact that she approached you first about this instead of me already say a lot? Right. A different kind of trust, granted implicitly and never spoken, sometimes too big, too fragile to last. He falls silent for a moment as he turns it over in his mind. In the end, all he manages to offer is a small nod before he departs and a promise to at least listen to her without the teasing or the jibes. A favor for me and the least he could do for her. Yes, this is as much as I can do for him as well until I've understood what's happening myself. Yes, we gotta figure our own shit out. Tonight, hopefully, where this all started will provide the answer I'm looking for. Yes, can we fast forward to the housewarming and see what goes on in terms of, like, from Rebecca's point of view? Okay, so Isabella and Ashton arrived at Salamwell having an argument about the missing BRC employee's investigation. Annoyed by the noise, Rebecca interfered and, in the end, asked Ashton to keep an open mind. Yes, because it doesn't hurt for you to do so. Alright. Yes. So, except the whole thing's off to a bad start and all of a sudden whatever Isabella claims doling in this mansion becomes the least of my concerns. Severely underdressed is a total understatement to describe how I look. Right. I just kind of showed up. Cars worth more than my own apartment and childhood home combined line the mansion's front yard, men and women decked out in their best also flock near the entrance. Most are eager for the festivities to start, while some are simply idling about, enjoying the warm afternoon sun before it sets. But once the woman standing at the front porch speaks, their undivided attention immediately shifts to her. Is it Hana? Yes, it's Hana. Aw, look at her. She's so cute. Presumably Miss Wright from the confident manner she holds herself among present company. This despite keeping a far simpler appearance than the rest of her own guests or not having her husband beside her, who will have a dramatic entrance either way, whatever. He'll come, don't worry. A trait worthy of utmost admiration at best, at worst she's the envy of every woman, the subject of every gossip in Luxbourne. Yes.
Welcome everyone.
Yes, hello. And Mum said we could have been good friends? I can't even picture myself mingling with the kind of guests she has, right? Though I admit she does seem familiar now that I've seen her this close. Memories of sitting in a vanity not mine, being dressed in clothes too fancy for my taste. They flit briefly in my mind until her cheerful tone rises above the buzz of her enraptured audience again.
Please, make yourselves at home.
Yes. I wish I could share her enthusiasm, really. But being surrounded by all this extravagance, for the lack of a better term, merely makes me dread how the rest of the night might go. Also, knowing there might be some truth to what lies inside the place helps drive the unease further by a notch. Yes, we gotta keep our eyes peeled. Ashton, on the other hand...
Be careful with Shirley, alright?
Yes. For someone who abhors gatherings like this, he already seems right at home, standing with an air too lackadaisical as he watches the valet drive off with his bloody car. Can't you at least act with a bit more shame?
Becca, if I find a single scratch on Shirley, there will be hell to pay.
What kind of car is it anyways? It better be a nice car, because if it's a nice car, okay, fine, I understand. But if it's like, something that's like, hey, it's, not as nice, then like, I don't see the fuss. Those guys know what they're doing. They're handling cars worth more than your precious Shirley, right? My disdain has likely shown beyond the tone of my voice, quite possibly in the form of a grimace. He chuckles, a rare moment where mirth and amusement danced across his features. Try as I might to pull up a stern glare, I can't help but join him instead. There's something in the lightness of it, in how easy this kind of interaction falls into place when we don't let feelings get too involved, in spite of being stuck in a situation we're not fond of. It brings back memories. However, the moment doesn't hold, yes. All of a sudden, Ashton grows quiet.
Chief?
Oh my, yes. An odd expression flashes momentarily across his face, though he blinks it away before I can figure out what it is exactly. Oh, Ashton, what's...
Sorry, Becca, I just saw someone I need to catch up with. Longtime friend.
Oh yeah, because he works in the police department, but being a detective and shit, so yeah, of course, yes. He would hear about, what's his face? Chief Lee, Inspector Lee, whatever the hell his name. Yes, that guy. It doesn't help that he isn't even making an effort to spare a glance my way when he answers. Instead, they're focused at some point in the crowd. His gaze darting between people walking past us until a small frown forms in his face. Wait, Ash, what about...
This won't be long. Be careful while I'm gone, okay?
Okay. There he goes. I meet the smile he hastily throws my way with a frown of my own. What does he mean by that? But before I can ask, already he has turned his back from me and is walking away without a single explanation whatsoever. In some desperate effort, I try to catch up to him, if only to know what warranted this sudden departure and his odd warning at the end. Hey, be careful about what exact? Oh. Only for my attempts to be interrupted by a muffled ringing from my pocket. Who the hell is calling me? Oh, Mum's cheerful voice greets me as soon as I answer. Mum! Yes, I'm at the party already, Mum. Yes, I'll say hi to her if I can. The conversation itself doesn't last long. Just a simple hello, a reminder to enjoy the party, and to send their regards to their old student. But when the call ends and I get to look up, Ashton's already heading inside. Hey, wait for me! With a sigh and admittedly a little disappointment, I tuck my mobile back into my pocket and follow after him. So much for a date. Yeah, he's kind of on the job right now. Low-key on the job. Even with familiar company, this is somehow shaping up to a terrible event. To a terrible evening. It's only about to get worse, I assume. The party hits full swing an hour later, yes. With the host's opening remarks given, still no sign of her husband, the poor woman, and the guests promptly fed, the band shifts the melody to a livelier tune. Soon laughter and the rhythmic tapping of shoes fill the room, all in accordance to the lifting strains of music. It seems fun, I admit. Fascinating at certain moments, the flurry of dancers making the music their own, almost with no care in the world. If I weren't so indisposed, I'd have joined the crowd for a song or two. There isn't a lack of invitations anyway, plenty of them in fact, with some asking more than once. It's only my stubborn refusal that prevents me from joining them. And I can. A single nod is all it'll take, and the evening would have been far enjoyable for me. But my pride and my own silly hopes, the thought of being seen with one of them by him curbs that, as much as I hate to admit it. It's a hard truth to swallow, especially when the very person at the center of it makes denial difficult. Can't even spare me a minute of his attention, or a single glance at me the whole evening, because he's on the job. I imagine. Oh, there's Zach! Hell, Zachary might have spoken more words to me. The big guy's busy covering the event, to boot. But at least he manages to slip in a conversation or two between takes, or a small wave of his hand when he passes by. Yes. What's Ashton's excuse? He's on a case, girl! He's been flitting in and out of sight the whole time. One moment he's hanging around a small group, in another he's hovering around the string band. Just a second ago he's wolfing down some deviled eggs by the buffet table, a glass of wine in hand. The next thing I know, he's gone. Wow, he's really making work. If I didn't know any better, I'd say he only agreed to come with me for another reason. Yes, it is. And you're right. I swear the next person who asks, I'm dancing the night away with. Wait, what? I swear the next person who asks, I'm dancing the night away with. Ashton can go fuck himself.
You would catch his eye a lot better if you wore nicer clothes, don't you think?
Yes, and this is where Hana comes in. Her voice almost makes me jump, too focused on the gobshite wandering around the ballroom and my own annoyance to notice. If she's heard any of the profanities I've mumbled, or she's taken notice of my discomfiture, she makes no comment on it, merely greeting me with a smile when I turn my attention to her. Hello, Hana! Miss Hana Wright gives off a whole different air when she's not speaking to an audience. Homely, a bit too friendly for my liking. Oh. But I guess that comes from being raised in such an environment and having to deal with pompous, snooty people. Though I suppose nothing has really changed from years ago. I remember her carrying herself in the same manner during that one and only visit. Oh, okay, so so Rebecca does remember Hana. Does she remember any of it? She will eventually. I won't be surprised if she doesn't. It has taken me a while myself. She's probably met a lot of people like little Becky throughout the years. Might have already forgotten about me and my parents. Yes. People like her thrive on connections after all. Nevertheless, I return her smile, awkward and stiff as it may be. Didn't realize the housewarming was going to be this fancy. I would have gone with a nice dress if I knew.
Oh, you're fine, dearie. It's only really the parvenu, those who climb, that come to these parties all dolled up.
Parvenu. Oh, okay.
Quite the black-haired beauty, isn't he?
Right. For the most part, yes. It takes me a while to realize who she's talking about. Yep. Until Ashton walks by again in closer proximity than any of the times he has done so far this evening. Probably to check out Hana. Still without a look of acknowledgement our way, though, even if Miss Wright speaks loud enough to catch the attention of anyone within earshot. Who, Ash? Yes.
You know, you really shouldn't have turned down those offers.
But I did, because, pride and all.
If I wasn't married, I'd happily go dancing with those young men. But you said a name. Ash. That's the exquisite lad you've been looking at all this time.
Indeed. Unfortunately.
I don't know him, and I'm the one hosting this party. That must mean you know each other.
Yeah, he's my date, supposedly.
Is he your boyfriend then? Because that would explain those rejections.
No. There we go, there's our little cutscene, and this is where Hana sees the lady behind us. But I wonder if we notice, maybe. This isn't the first time someone has made that assumption. Almost every student I've had in the past did. My coworkers, more often than not, assume he is. A few of my neighbors also think we're a few of my neighbors also think we're an item, yes. Not that Ashton has ever reacted to those, he's been quite indifferent about it, in fact. Yes, I would imagine he would be. Still, the heat of the blush creeps up my cheeks a denial already, despite wanting it to happen so badly myself. What? No, that's ridiculous. He isn't my boyfriend. It's just, I guess, second nature now.
Such a violent reaction. A simple no would have sufficed.
Yeah, I know.
Many here would be happy to hear it.
I know. And I haven't been looking at him. I do my best to summon a straight face, but before her good cheer, it easily falters.
That's right. You've been staring. Quite heatedly, in fact.
Thanks, Hana, for pointing that out to me.
Although I'm not sure if you look like you want to kiss him or kill him.
Both, actually. It's more of the latter currently.
Just don't go murdering him on my property.
No, Rebecca, it's actually both. It's not the latter, it's both.
I don't want to walk into a room and suddenly find a body there.
Speaking of bodies. Oh, we don't get the cutscene. It's infectious in a way. No sooner I find myself enjoying our chat more than I've imagined myself to. Although her attention briefly wavers at one point, she remains a good companion. Wow, she really, that's that point with Hana where she sees the lady. But damn, she covers it up really well then. Even more once I've mentioned who my parents are, her face quickly lights up, and fondness graces her face, despite the meeting from several years ago being a short one. But of course, there are some things we really can't avoid talking about. Boys! Ash. After all, it's one of the few things I remember her asking me the moment she spotted little Becky in the room. Do you have a boyfriend? Yes. Oh god. In retrospect, it's an odd thing to talk about as children when there are loads we could have started with, right?
Yes, I remember you! You were the cutest little thing with glasses!
Yes, me, Becky with the good hair.
And when we met, you were having boy troubles with this lad called something with an A.
Mm-hmm. I believe I still have the clothes she gave me, chosen also I could impress him, yo. And even back then, Ashton has always been denser than a rock, and that one attempt to get him to notice backfired spectacularly. Why? What happened? Sure, he's keen, he's a detective for heaven's sake, but feelings, more often than not, escapes him.
What was it again?
It was Ashton.
Aaron, Alan, Adele, Albert, Alexander, Andrew?
No, neither. None. Which makes this whole talk all the more embarrassing. And the more names she lists off, the more my discomfort grows until my smile turns into a grimace. What will she think of me? Here she is, married to a man she almost... Yeah, here she is, married to a man she most probably loves at that. Yeah. Well, yeah. In her own way, yes. While I'm stuck in the same place yearning for the same person.
Ashton! Ash!
Yes.
That man is that boy! The same one.
The same one. The only one.
Oh, goodness me. After all these years.
I know, right?
I can see why, though. He's quite dashing.
I know, thanks. I have such great taste, don't I? You don't really need to announce it to everyone within earshot, you know. Keep it down.
I'm so sorry, but it really is cute.
Indeed. She says that, but for a short moment, a hint of pity flickers in her eyes. I take that as a chance to change the subject before anything more can be said over the matter. I haven't even sorted these things out for myself. Okay, so this is a nice party, Ms. Wright. Though to be frank, I doubt she'd be so willing to pass this up. The topic has already captured her attention. Yes.
Please, Hana is fine. We're friends of a sort, aren't we? We must be friends, seeing as I know about your little infatuation, Becky.
Yes.
Don't you worry, dearie. You'll have your happy ending yet.
I'm not too concerned about that, am I? That's not what I'm looking for.
Oh? And what makes you think that? Doesn't everybody want their happy ending?
Yeah, true. This is where we get our happy ending talk. The idea of happy endings sounds like they're just for fairy tales. And they are sorta. I don't think you can just sit around trapped in some tower and hope for the best. If you love them, you have to fight for it, right? Yes, you're not just going to sit there and hope that everything will just fix itself on its own. Like everything, you have to work at it. Hypocrisy, that's what this is. How dare I preach about something when it's exactly what I've been doing. Yes. And then, I go and act as if I'm entitled to any of it. That, by virtue of us growing up together, he must return whatever I feel for him. That he's not allowed to look at another because I'm the one who has stayed by his side the longest. When in the first place, Ashton has always been his own person, yes. This is something I cannot force on him. I can only hold on to these, take care of it, until the time comes I can confess to it. Until the time comes I can confess it to him, right? Great if he reciprocates it, but if he can't? If he won't? Selfish. I've been too selfish. But what do I know?
I'm sure the daughter of the two greatest professors I've ever known is smart enough to know what she's talking about.
For the most part, yes. At one point, maybe I would have easily agreed to that. However, the past weeks has also seen changes in the way I view things. Yes. As nice as these things sound, it turns out whatever I previously know may not even be true for other people or for myself. It is sobering and almost funny how things I might have said with much certainty before now has doubts muddying each of them. Yes. And there will be time to mull about these later, because when a hush suddenly descends in the room, a whole different issue rears. Here comes Luke! Hey! Especially when fucking Luke, strides into the low, quiet ballroom, fashionably late and oozing with the same pompous mien he always carries around with him.
Good evening, ladies and gents. Enjoying the party. I hope I'm not too late in welcoming you all to the right mansion.
Before long, Hannah leaves my side to join him, and it doesn't take a genius to piece it all together. Yep, they're married.
Welcome, one and all, to our humble abode. Tonight, if you have yet to find yourself in your roles, you are our ladies and lords of the court of your king and queen. If you would excuse my presumptuousness.
Okay, Luke, I get it. Okay, we already
So, enjoy the feast that has been laid out for your senses, as we only allowed the best to be served. Enjoy the rest of your night, everyone.
Okay. Alright, his attitude, the manner he carries himself around people, his unfamiliarity with that part of the city. Of fucking course. I should have known. Although I'm partly at fault here, tabloids the gossip columns have never been really my thing. I know. Neither, same with me. I should have also expected that wherever Luke fucking Wright is, some sort of drama will sure follow. Oh, she's gonna witness to the whole baby thing? He seems that kind of person who revels in it, figures they'll find him on its own, even when he's not asking for it. Yeah. There we go. It happens amidst a round of applause and hoots that people lagging behind the crowd, That people lagging behind the crowd they've gathered does not catch on until the cheers turn into several scandalized gasps. Yes.
I am pregnant with your little bastard. You promised me you'll take responsibility.
I'm pregnant.
God damn it, Luke. I finally got you to talk to me after months of silence, and you do this to me.
What do you mean you're pregnant with?
Yes.
Luke, is this true?
Lies and slander, woman!
Nope.
Security! Yo, Hans, take her out of here before she makes an even bigger fool of herself!
Yep.
No, you do not do this to me. I was so ready to leave my stupid oaf of a husband. I told you to leave that damn wife of yours.
Yeah, I wonder what happens with Rebecca after this whole incident.
Look at her. Does she look like she wants a baby?
Of course she does.
Does she look like she could take care of a baby?
Oh my. That's your own opinions. That's not for for you to judge. All right. The commotion doesn't go further despite the drunk woman appearing like she has plenty more venom to spill. In a little while, security shows up, escorting her out. Apparently, she's the chief inspector's wife too. Yes. As if this whole thing can't get any more fucked up than it already is, then what's happened? Tell me, what a mess. I know. But the damage has been done, and beyond the repercussions this will bring, I'm more worried about Hana. Yes, maybe Luke too, in part. I've seen the man that hides behind his self-importance, and it is someone who cares for the person who stands beside him. Yes, no matter how questionable that is now. After all, no anger is worse than that of a scorned woman. And Hana's a chill girl. She handled it like a pro. Well, as refined and well-mannered she is in front of her guests, I'm not sure if she'll be all too willing to tolerate this. Her party, her home, her husband, and that woman has just dared to walk over it, yes. Oh, Hana, it's in her eyes when she turns to her, the face of someone who demands she be given the same respect she has long deserved. Yes, Hana.
You are no longer welcome in any of our estates, our properties, and our businesses. And we will no longer patronize yours.
Yes, Hana. You tell her, Hana.
Now, escort the girl and make sure she isn't standing even an inch within our grounds.
Yes. Hana's outrage is a strange sight to witness after those smiles and the grace she has carried herself through the entirety of the party. Like this, her eyes burning bright with fury, I don't doubt she can do so much more, ruin the scandalous woman if need be. Shaming her is already an act of mercy, generous enough coming from her, yes.
You won't show your face to me ever again if you know what is good for you, Rochelle.
Yes.
Take her away.
Yeah, bye. Bye, homegirl. No longer homegirl. No one protests, not even the subject of her ire, as she is forcibly dragged out. Even the smile on Luke's face wavers when she eventually turns to him and pulls him out of the room for a talk of their own. Oh my. For a brief moment, there's a concerted effort between those left in the hall, a short second of tense silence while struggle to figure out what to do with themselves. Yes. But true to the kind of talk these situations attract, it doesn't last too long. We're all gossiping. Soon chatter explodes throughout the whole ballroom. Worried murmurs, clicking of tongues, and inappropriate gossip filters through the thick tension in the room. Most of them haven't even left the premises, and they're already talking about it. Tomorrow it'll be on the news for sure in every local broadsheet and tabloid in Luxembourg. I couldn't care less about any of it. Simply thinking about this already gives me a headache. Yes, when the shock has faded, I just feel bone tired. Maybe this is why she leaves. Huh. I've accomplished nothing of what I've come here for, and apparently Ashton has disappeared sometime during the commotion. I'm not sure what pisses me off more. That he ignored me the whole evening and might have just left me without saying anything, or knowing he obviously has some other motive for being here. Yes and yes. Damn, I wonder what would happen if we actually just didn't bring it up. But I think she would have been more pissed if she were to, show up at the party and then also find Ashton here as well. And just be like, what the hell is he doing here kind of thing. When, clearly this isn't his kind of gig. Can't he at least trust his own friends for that? He didn't have to lie to me. Oh, well, yeah. The only relief to be had in this, perhaps, is Zachary's comforting smile when he approaches. Hey man, he appears as disturbed when he stands beside me, fiddling with the buttons on his camera, even though the device is off.
Eventful night, huh?
Yeah, tell me about it. You can say that again. It was awful. He pauses for a moment, stares at me intently. Then he laughs, a tired one but filled with humor in spite of what we've witnessed. God.
Let me guess. Ashton.
That too. What makes you think he's my problem?
Just a hunch.
Just a hunch.
And, it's all in your face, actually.
Oh. Am I that obvious? Ugh, why does he have to... I don't understand that man anymore.
Like I always say, you should just...
Oh, you can bet your ass we are going to have a very long talk. I'm not letting him off easy this time.
I'm sure he has a good reason.
I know, he does.
He won't say it, but he likes being around us. Heck, we're probably the only people he likes.
I can imagine.
He ain't gonna ruin that for something stupid. He can be dense, but he ain't dumb.
Right. But that's exactly what I've been telling people, isn't it? We'll see about that. Okay. Well, I just want to go home. Are you done here?
Nah, sorry. I can't until the party ends.
No way. That sucks. Yeah, it's alright. I'll just take a cab or something. Yeah, I'll see you later, Zachary. Oh god, I hope nothing happens to us. Before removing myself from the room, I lay a comforting hand on his arm. He'll need it among these people. And then I'm gone, more than ready to end the disastrous night as early as possible. Like, I don't want what happened to Marianne happen to us, you know, where we end up in like a sticky situation. As it turns out, the night isn't done with me yet. Why? Oh no, yeah, he's still standing there, huh? Because no sooner has the porter closed the door behind me, I find myself standing alone in the foyer with one Luke Wright. No sign of his wife, yep, because she went to her room to like retire for the night. Just him and the agitated clicks his shoes make while he treads around the empty room. Away from the media's prying eyes and their guests' judging stares, it's easy to glean how much this scandal has him shaken. Not to the point where he has utterly lost his composure. He appears to have mastered himself enough not to. But an ample opening is there for a nervous edge to show on the lines of his shoulders. Yes. What do you know? The man is not as tough as he makes himself out to be. Of course not. Sure, I've seen this before, briefly in that 1 second in the hallway at school. Yes. It's a strange matter, however, to witness this out in the open. Yeah. In a different setting altogether, too. Behind closed doors, this is the real Luke Wright, yes. Though maybe that's because he hasn't noticed my presence yet, busy as he is with his thinking. If he's aware, I doubt he would be acting like this. His pride is one thing he will always wear with him. Yes. Even now, when I place a gentle hand on his shoulders, and he whirls around to face me. Whoa. There's a second long moment of anger flashing across his features before it dissolves into confusion. He tucks it away as quickly as he can, but it does nothing to change the impression I've built of the man in my head.
Daisy, must you be everywhere?
Girl, I can't help it. Like, you seem to be the one who's following me around, not the other way around. We've only met 3 times, Luke. Quit the dramatics. Besides, shouldn't you be aware who gets invited to your party?
If I was, there wouldn't be any of that scene tonight.
True.
That munter wouldn't even get an inch within this property. I'd ban her off Luxport if I could.
No, but you didn't. Maybe you should have been more involved. He probably pawns everything off to their servants in Hana. Yes, pompous, elitist douche.
Did you just come out here to lecture me about it?
No, just observation. Just a casual observation.
Because, Daisy, I've had enough of it for one night. I don't need to hear another one.
I'm not gonna patronize you. You're a very unpleasant man.
So I've been told. Will that be all?
Is it because my meter is a little low on him? Is that why we're so kind of dicey with him? No, I'm way past the little bar thing, whatever the bar thing means, but whatever.
If so, I suggest you go back and join every bloody goss in that room.
I'm not gonna. I'm going home because I'm tired. Not everything. As unpleasant and frustrating talking with this man is, he deserves the benefit of the doubt at least, right? The questions and criticism aren't lacking, of course. But right this instant, there's only one that comes to mind. Is it true you should be with your wife? You should be with your... You should be with your wife, I feel. Maybe, but at the same time, it's like we know she needs her space because of what happened. Like, you know, like there's some truth in it. So I don't know if she wants to see his face right now, but we don't know that as Rebecca. But at the same time, it's not good to just be nosy about this and be like, oh, is it true? Did you actually like cheat on your wife and like, you know, got another lady pregnant? And that's just gonna trigger him. Okay, you should be with your wife. Is that okay? Did I do it? I don't know. You know, brooding over here isn't going to fix this mess. Yeah.
Again with the lecture.
Just hear me out. Will you stop calling it that?
Very well, what should we call this then? A heart-to-heart?
Yes, that sounds so much better.
Please don't. I might puke.
Oh, shut up.
And just so you know, I don't want to talk about feelings. Ever.
Nah, I get you on that. Ugh, feelings. This isn't one, alright? It's just friendly concern. Bloody hell, can't you just take it for what it is? He pauses at that. Suddenly he doesn't know what to do with his hands, and in the end, he simply stuffs them back to his pockets and socks. Aww. There probably aren't many people who tell him that. He's a difficult man to get along with, after all. Yes. I honestly won't give him a second of my time if I didn't see a different side to him. Right. Dealing with him requires more than patience. When the awkwardness passes, mostly coming from him, he merely glances away. But the tightness in his shoulders has eased, and when he speaks again, despite his rather rude choice of words, none has any venom in it.
Friendly concern, right?
Yes.
While we're at it, I should mention that Hana used to call that viper friend. Now I think she might want to strangle the munter if she sees her again.
I wouldn't blame her, but anyways, we're not here to talk about her. About that friend, quote-quote Hana's friend.
After she's done with me, of course.
Yes. I doubt she's going to do anything like that.
What do you even know about this?
Well... oh, I know enough. You may look like a sleazy douche, and you still are, by the way. It's almost comical how fast his face shifts from mild disdain to offended, but I don't let it distract me. Yes. These things need to be said, and he needs to hear them. Yeah. Even though they're coming from some meddling stranger. But you have your few good moments, right? I might even say that you're a decent person if I'm in the mood. Now go. If you really love her, you've got to try and fix this yourself.
Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow. Luke.
Daisy, did you see her earlier? Was that the face of a wife who wants to have a chat with her cheating husband?
Yeah, I figured. Like, I'm just putting good word into it. Like, we already know that as the audience, but like, for Rebecca's case, it's like it wouldn't do us good to just try to, you know, again, patronize him about and getting nosy ourselves the whole cheating incident and getting another woman pregnant. Like, that's just gossip and shit. But like, here we're trying to actually help and understand that, you know, maybe he should make this right decision. Oh, well, at least you admitted you did something wrong. Good for you. How about a star? Would you like a star to go with that good deed?
Don't get used to it. Do you realize how awkward this is?
I know. Oh, I do. Yeah. Before I've even thought about what to say, I've known there can only be two ways this can go. Alright, all things considered, it isn't as bad as I've assumed. However, there are still some things my brand of encouragement can't fix. His marital problems, first and foremost, his attitude follows right after. Concerns aside, I can't help with those. Those are things only he can fix, and it's definitely not by standing around here bantering. Don't worry, I was just about to leave. Feel free to continue with your brooding once I'm gone. I'm not going to tell anyone. Cross my heart.
You think this is funny, Daisy?
I think it's hilarious. Laughter is the only response I give him. With a slight wave of my hand, I end it right there and walk away. TLDR, stop sulking. Although I can't resist the urge to glance back before I leave, if only to have one last look at the man he really is. But the instant I turn my gaze on him, I see it. Is it the shadow? Yes, the shadow. Yeah, there she is. Looming, hovering over his shoulders, drawn to him like a moth to a flame. He's being haunted. Ooh, okay, maybe it's because he has such a resemblance to the fiance that got killed, and like the rumor has it that the fiance was killed by a witch. So it's like, she's coming back to, you know, try to like claim Luke because, you know, he has such a resemblance. Like the first time I've stepped inside this place in search of Isabella. Yes, he was there too, wasn't he? Yes, that man, along with his wife and another person, Miss Macaulay. Yes. And that shadow. No, a woman now. Yes, her, no longer a dark blur. Terror rushes through every vein in my body, a crippling sensation gripping every part of me while she stares at me with a glare filled with nothing but hate and venom. Of course she would have a thing after Hana, because Hana's married to Luke. Oh my god, it's like, I'm pretty sure it's like the thing that happened with the death of the Charlotte Ermengarde and her fiance all over again. My goodness. It's like staring at the eyes of a woman I've unknowingly robbed of something precious. Yes, the love of her life. I try to say something. A warning. But before I can gather my wits and voice it out, someone shuts the door behind me. And she's gone. As if to keep outsiders away from the secrets this mansion possesses. Blech. Alright. Well then. The brush of fresh air against my cheeks does little to dampen the chill in my bones. It just adds to it. Alright, let's see what the journal has to say about that. Nope, not that. Not that either. Where are we? There we go. So, as she was about to leave the party, Rebecca caught sight of a sulking Luke. She reminded him that brooding wouldn't fix anything and that he should be with his wife instead. Before leaving the embarrassed man, Rebecca caught a glimpse of a shadow standing behind him. Yes. Alright. So by now the sensation and the fear and disquiet, at least whenever I see her, is familiar enough for me. Already, it has made a home in my nerves. I don't even notice my trembling hands until I cross my arms across my chest. The cold from the tips of my fingers seep through the thick material of my shirt. Neither of it helps bring together some semblance of coherent thought in my head. But I know I should... Someone has to tell that douche, right? I start walking back before fear can cripple me again. But he's gone. It's not wise. Of course not. Returning, that is, especially after what happened. Yes. But Hana's still an old friend, and Luke doesn't deserve whatever misfortune that letter might bring. I can't just leave those two in there. Isabella's right. She's real, and there's something she wants from everyone who has read that.
Becca, where'd you go off to?
Oh my god, where the hell have you been?
If we're done here, let's go.
Girl? My mistake, the second his voice cuts through the crisp night air, is that I've allowed my annoyance get the better of me. Yeah, my mistake. Fuming, purpose forgotten, I whirl around and march towards him. Like, you can talk! One accusation after another piles up at the tip of my tongue, ready to be hurled at any moment. Yeah. There's no hesitation holding me back when I fling it at him. That straight face he keeps as I do so doesn't help temper my anger either. Alright, it only makes me want to slap some more sense into him. Shouldn't I be the one asking you that? Right, true.
Becca, I've been waiting here the whole time since that mess in the hall. I told you I hate parties like...
No, throughout the entire time I'm talking about the party, you know? And before that, where have you been the entire evening, right? Right then and there, I might have forgiven him if he's shown some ounce of remorse for leaving me like that. Maybe he could have looked away, given me a sign that my assumptions might be right. He doesn't even need to put them into words. A single gesture of confirmation is all I need. Rather, what I get is the same impassive look. He does that whenever he can't disclose anything. Okay, so yeah, on the case. He does that whenever he's lying. In the face of it, amidst the thick tension, a frustrated huff is the only thing I can summon. Be that way, fine, suit yourself. Alright, no more words. After everything I've seen and heard tonight, I'm already too exhausted for those. So without speaking any further, I simply walk past him and stomp over his car. Although before I can pull open the door, he calls out, one hand outstretched, a gentle weight on my shoulders.
Wait, Becca.
What? He pauses, his brows furrowing and lips curving into a slight frown. I can almost see the gears turning in his head while he tries to piece together everything he wants to say. Before, perhaps I might have waited patiently for those. He's not a man fond of using words to express himself. More often than not, any gesture of honesty will only come out blunt and coarse when forced. But today, for one reason or another, I simply can't summon the forbearance. Ashton, if you're going to waste my time again...
Becca, listen. I don't know how else...
Oh, that much is obvious. Why don't you just take the whole bloody night? Go on, I can wait until next year. Better yet, why don't you just keep it all to yourself, like you always do? It's not like...
Rebecca, will you hear me out first?
Yes, Rebecca, your temper's getting the best of you. Come on, shush. He has good reasons. The silence I can offer him, but whether I'll believe what he's about to say is still up for debate. A very long debate.
I honestly don't know how else to put this.
You're on a case. I mean, I feel like Rebecca would have been more understanding had Ashton been a little bit more upfront with her, saying like, oh hey, I'm here, low-key, for a case that I'm working on that involves Luke Wright. So yeah, and that's all I can probably tell you. Maybe then she would have been like, okay, fine, kind of thing, but he totally left her out in the dark, so.
I'm aware your parents have some kind of history with Hannah Wright, and somehow you're friends with her.
Yes, but not good friends.
But you should stay away from these people for now. Especially the
Ah,
husband.
there we go. I knew he would say that to us. Who, Luke? Yes. His expression deepens into a scowl as my his expression deepens into a scowl at my mention of the name, but whatever opinion he has, he doesn't immediately voice. Still, something about it has greatly displeased him, evident in the stiff note his tone assumes.
Yeah, he's bad news.
Yeah, we still don't know why though, but it's all that he's done some shady shit. It's my turn to frown this time. What does he mean by that? Oh my, we get to ask questions. Alright, what does he have to do with this? Care to explain your reasons? What does he have to do with this? Care to explain your reasons. I want to know. Yeah, that gave us a little bit more points with him. Because, you know, we're willing to, like, hear him out. Care to explain your reasons? I've not meant for it to sound as harsh as it does, but anger and frustrations have never been a good match in me, particularly in nights like this, right? A lot has happened. It's not surprising when Ashton jerks back, as if I've struck him. For a fleeting moment, something akin to hurt darts across his features, his eyes narrowing and hands closing in tightly into a fist at his sides. Then swiftly he glances away and shifts his focus on the line of trees nearby, like an answer can be gleaned from the dark expanse.
I'm really sorry, Becca.
Confidential, can't disclose. What is it for? For the party? The vague answers he continues to give. Does it include all those times before this? The years worth of it? Oh girl, now you're looking too much into it. I don't doubt its sincerity. It's sincerity. However, at the moment, the forgiveness he's asking isn't something I'm all too willing to hand, furious as I am. It's frankly a wonder how I can keep myself from raising my voice at him. We'll talk about this tomorrow. Oh, and you better have a proper answer for me by then. Damn, there's a brief hesitation before I step away, a short moment of wanting to say more, of waiting if he has anything to add. He's only silent, eyes still trained at a distance. It is the last glimpse I see of him before I climb inside his car. If the door slams closed with the same force as the anger I'm holding, its sound merely vanishes into the night unnoticed. And you can't bitch about me about hurting Shirley like that, okay? I'm mad at you right now. Okay, let's see what the journal has to say. More shit. Alright, so Rebecca found Ashton waiting for her upon exiting the mansion, irked because he was nowhere to be found during the entire party. She demanded to know what was going on. When he couldn't give her an answer, Rebecca warned that they still talk about it some other time, of course. I mean, I would want to talk about it. Alright, he follows soon after, and shortly we're on our way back to the city. Yet even with the city's bright lights welcoming us, the dense, somber air from the mansion still lingers. Alright, so we're back home. Okay, so the moon is almost at its highest by the time we reach Salenwell. Even after our respective heads have cooled off. Why am I talking about hands cooling off? Even after our respective heads have cooled off, the atmosphere within the car remains rife with unspoken tension. This isn't a problem so easily fixed with a few handshakes. Quite frankly, I don't know what will. I think just the truth, okay? Honesty. Ashton himself has no idea what to do when he alights and dawdles awkwardly in the middle of the car park, unsure. Yes, it almost seems like he's having an internal debate whether he should say goodbye or mutter another apology. I could have driven him away purely out of spite the second I've gotten off. Still, old habits die hard. It's late and Ashton's flat is on the other side of the city. The irritation might still rear its head every time I look at him right now, but I'm not too cruel to put him up on another long drive. Especially when he still appears as if he hasn't gotten any rest. You can borrow the couch. I throw the keys to my flat his way before a protest forms on his lips. Although he catches it with ease, he eyes it with a wary expression and shoots a puzzled glance my way. Hey, I'm not cruel, okay? Like Rebecca said, not cruel. You haven't been forgiven. We're still going to have that talk, believe me. But I'm not about to send you out on another drive looking like that. It's late. Go get some rest. Right. We're setting aside a lot of loose ends like this, but he appears to have accepted that reason, at least in the meantime. He does give me another questioning glance when I shove past him, pulling my mobile in the process.
Where are you going? I thought...
A call, I guess. You go ahead upstairs. I need to contact Professor Andrew. Ooh.
Andrew? Why would you...
Yeah, why?
Oh, no. Please.
No, Ashton, you have no right to give me some assassin attitude about this matter. You get your ass upstairs and leave me to myself.
Is this that thing Isabella said this morning? Again?
Yes, now shut up.
I already gave her my word, Becca. I'll look into this BRC crap. No need to drag the old guy into it.
Nope. I need some of my own answers, okay? Of course, he's still skeptical. It makes one wonder if he's even seen anything at all, right? If he's even seeing anything at all. Yeah, figures this curse will stay away from the scoffer. But this is another loose end tonight that I can't just leave alone, Ashton's beliefs notwithstanding. Right, we don't know, because we haven't gotten to his point of view yet, but he's seen the letter too, and then he's totally chill with it all. It's it's either he has seen things and he's just really, really in denial about it, or maybe his comes late. I don't even know. It just so happens that it's one I can delve into using means other than taking a look at the mansion itself. Ashton, do you really think I still give a shite after that stunt you pulled tonight?
No, but this is...
Nope, not hearing any of it. I spent so many years with him to know this is about to turn into another argument. Before he can finish it, I cut him off with a firm raise of my hand. Look, I don't care. There are weird things happening around here, and yes, it's Isabella's brand of weird. Ghostly voices, strange sounds, and a bloody woman sitting at the back of my car. You don't have to believe me, and I no longer have the patience to convince you, so just leave me be, Ashton, right? You don't understand, Ashton. You don't know what I'm going through. He doesn't push it, going quiet instead, although I know he has a whole case of it prepared inside his head. But there's a reluctant shift in his movement when he steps away from our conversation. Short of climbing the stairs, he stops, turns to face me with an expression almost too... conflicted?
Are you really sure?
Yes. 100%. What?
That there was something? That you've been, seeing things?
Yes. Oh, maybe he was in denial. Maybe he has seen some shit, but he's just no, it can't be. There's gotta be some sort of logical explanation to this all. But now that everyone around him is all I'm seeing things, he's oh shit, maybe I'm seeing things too. Yes, I'm very, very certain. Now go. Shoo. And you better not break anything in there. The last time I let you stay over, it was that statuette Belle gave me. You haven't even replaced that one. The last of my reprimand goes both unheard and unanswered as he disappears behind the stairs. If things aren't as strained, he might have a quip or two about that, followed by a light banter. Instead, for a long moment, I am left staring after him. There's something in the way he asked it that nags. Coupled with his expression, the whole exchange just feels unsettling. Again, okay, so one that doesn't fade even as I gather my thoughts and shift my focus on another, even as I dial Professor Andrew's number. Hope you're not sleeping at this time, sir. And that is when it clicks. What? During the long wait for the professor, one stray thought emerges from the unease. Ashton has not intended for his question to be a jibe. It's concern. For what, though? For my well-being? The letter's curse? The woman I mentioned? The answers for those will have to wait, however. Finally, the call connects and Professor Andrew's voice echoes from the receiver. Professor Andrew? I hope it's you, not Ghost Lady.
Rebecca? It's late.
Oops, sorry. I figured this would happen.
What can I do for you?
Oh, but he's so pleasant about it. Oh, good man, good man. I know, I'm sorry, but this is a bit urgent. After all, this is a mere After all, this is a more pressing matter. Yes, or our lives might be at stake and we're still in the dark. Actually, I was wondering if I could ask you to do me a favor. Ooh, about what? Ooh, what? Hey, I want to know. Hey, I want to know October 30th. What the hell? Okay, let's see where I am for time, because usually these days actually go on for like quite a while, like around my hour and 30-ish minute mark for my episode. So let's see. No, oh boy. I usually end it on the day, but I'm only at like an hour and a couple minutes in. Okay, let's go for a while. Let's see. So let's see what Professor Andrew has to say, and in terms of what Rebecca wants to hear from Professor Andrew. So Professor Andrew Clark has agreed to meet with me 2 days later in front of Luxbourne's public library. Okay, he has other commitments, but being a longtime family friend has its perks. I have my parents' connections to thank for that. Okay, figures. Of course, I'm not the sort to impose on him often, but the situation it's dire. Well, it's not entirely bad, although it does require calling in a few favors from friends like him. Without his signature, I won't be able to gain access to the library's restricted section. Ooh, and what? It's like Harry Potter shit? If I want to get more in-depth information on the Ermengarde mansion, that is, not simply what they choose to show to the general public. Ooh, dark secrets, a secret part of the library that's restricted about the Ermengarde mansion? That's not shady at all. God. As much as I hate to admit it, there's always something people censor, and whatever it is, I won't ever find it in the general section. Yes, it has to be what they're keeping here beyond the public eye. The thought of that alone makes me antsy. Yes, thankfully I don't have to brood over it. The wait for the professor doesn't last long. He never did enjoy making people wait. Likewise, he dislikes people who are tardy. Am I tardy? He arrives 5 minutes before I do, greeting me with that kind of smile and casual wave of his hand. I haven't seen him in so long, but it appears he hasn't changed much. His familiar presence alone is enough for a fond smile to spread across my face. Professor Andrew.
Rebecca.
Yes.
Didn't I say long ago you can drop the professor?
But you do have a PhD, right? So I can still call you it. You know I can't possibly do that. Even if I can, it feels disrespectful to call you by your name alone.
Both you and Ashton never listen to this old man. Kids these days.
Kids these days. Alright, but just for today, since you're doing me a huge favor, Andrew.
I guess you simply can't have it all, even at this old age. But pleasantries aren't what we're here for, yes? You mentioned you needed a permit.
Yes, I do. Yes, sir, if that's okay with you?
More than fine. Anything in pursuit of knowledge, as they say.
Great. He hands me the permit without further prompting. Wow, so trusting. Alright, and just like he promised, he's also written a recommendation after his signature. Thank you. This is more than enough to get me those files. Nice. I mutter a small thanks before slipping it into my pocket. Although when I look back up, his brows are furrowed at the very face of curiosity. Not surprising considering how vague I've been during our... Not surprising considering how vague I've been during our little talk over the phone. Right there and then, I've decided to tell him if he ever asks, maybe not all of it, but stuff he needs to know, yeah. It's the least I can do to thank him. As expected, true to his inquisitive nature, he asked. Yeah.
If you don't mind, though.
Of course!
I know you've always been an eager learner, but may I know what in the restricted section that piqued your curiosity?
The Ermengarde mansion. Ah, it's the Ermengarde mansion, sir. Yes. He's quick to raise an eyebrow at that, and for a while, I fear he'll take the slip of the paper back. No, it's mine now. Is there something in what I said?
The ones they have out in the general isn't enough?
No, sir. I'm hoping for a more in-depth read, sir. More about the history and the people who once lived there. The general section doesn't have anything much on that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you catch my drift?
Well, you certainly aren't the first one to be enamored with that place.
Oh, yeah, true.
It doesn't shock me. The architecture is admirable, and the urban legends are something to talk about.
Right, and experience.
Why, just this past week, I've got a few asking me about that. Imagine that.
Isabella, yes, we visited with Ashton. I think enamored might be a little too much to describe our interest in it. But I have to agree the mansion is beautiful even with the renovations. They kept the stained glass windows too. They are magnificent.
Oh, you've seen it?
Yes, because I was over there. I was there for a few hours to attend a housewarming party. The invitation was for my parents, but they couldn't make it. My mom used to work as a private tutor for the Evans. Hannah, right?
Ah, I know of her. Her husband, too. Who doesn't?
Me, apparently.
Luxborn's most popular couple.
My god, like, tell me about it. Something falls behind his eyes, the warmth in them suddenly gone, like he's reliving a painful distant memory and seeing it play right in front of him. Ooh, maybe he has history with them. It disappears almost as soon as it surfaces, but that look has unsettled something in me. Is something the matter?
Nothing much.
Ooh, looks like somebody has secrets.
But you know, you're already like a daughter to me. So if you could, do be careful with the friends you make.
Don't worry, you're not the first one to tell me that. Is this about the rights, sir?
Just a friendly advice from an old man. Don't think much about it. Anyway, I have to leave now. Can't miss my weekly serving of bear claws.
Yes.
Say hi to your parents at the detective inspector for me, will you? I wish you luck with all that research.
Okay. Bye. I will. Thanks for this, Andrew. I owe you one. Andrew gives my shoulder a light squeeze, the gesture a younger me has always appreciated, and quickly crosses the street after. I watch him until he disappears behind the door to a cafe, until the doubt swimming inside my head finds a moment to rest. Whatever his business is with the rights isn't anything I should concern myself about. It'll come up later, I'm sure. But somehow, in the grand scheme of things now, all of it feels oddly relevant. The how, though, I've yet to find out. We'll get to it eventually, and I'm hoping the library will give me the answers I want this time. Yes, to the library! On a gloomy Sunday morning, the library is especially empty. The second floor in particular. Alright, I've always considered this place to be a sanctuary, a respite away from the hubbub of the city. As a child, I grew up reading books here, spending hours here to no end, poring over the pages, living out fantasies in my head until my parents called me home. Now it feels nothing like it. The silence is smothering, suffocating. Even with how clean they've kept the microfiche room, how the entire small of it lacks a speck of dust or clutter, breathing is a struggle for air. Okay. Not far into my stay, I begin to long for the noise outside, and perhaps as a way to calm this unease, I start to hum a tune. Imagine that. Why of all things it has to be that silly nursery rhymes? I've not an inkling. It does its job, however. It fills the lull with something far less awkward, far less deafening, and that is enough for a distraction. I have business here. No time for silly daydreams, only important work to attend to. Yes, even if there's a possibility of it being fruitless, by some means it feels like I have to do it. If not for me, then for the people who has already been affected by this curse. What do we even call this? A curse? A haunting? Yeah. A Halloween prank gone wrong? Nope. A curse? Yeah, sure. If Isabella were here, what would she say? Will she panic? Will she be angry I only listen to her now? Well, I'm never too late. No one's dead yet, right? That's all that matters. It all stems from that one moment in the movie house, doesn't it? Yes. We could have avoided this had we only taken her warnings to heart. One stupid mistake is all it took to send our normal lives on a downward spiral. No stopping it now, though. Frankly, I'm no longer sure if I'm angry at myself for it, or at the universe for throwing us into this mess. But we can only make do of what little we have, and that's exactly what I'm doing. Yes, Rebecca, be proactive in fighting the curse. Going here might not be the right decision, but it's a start. Yeah, it's a good start. Yeah, a good start, see? I agree with you, Rebecca. It doesn't take much time for me to find what I need. Okay. A microfiche of old newspapers, long kept in special storage cabinets at the far end of the restricted section. Why would they put that there? The year is 1620s and beyond. Wow, that's old. Before the city of Luxborn even exists in the records, when the mansion has just been built, and Anselm is nothing more but a small, sleepy hamlet near a river. Okay. A lot of pieces are missing, days, sometimes several consecutive weeks without any records remaining. Often it goes on for years. Oh yeah, days. Okay, days are missing. Okay. Troublesome, but as it is, I'm lucky enough to find anything at all considering how far I'm looking back. Exactly. So it's good. Can't be picky now. Can't waste time mulling over what record keepers of the old could have done to make this a breeze for me. I can still work with this, right? The faint whir of the microfiche machine keeps me company. Oh, a microfiche. Microfiche? Is that what they call the a scanner? Huh? Is that it? Wow. Okay, so the faint whir of the microfiche machine keeps me company as I go over each slide. Oh no, it's a different machine. Oh, what the hell? Yeah, each image hoping for something that goes beyond what the local lore knows. There are snippets, little mentions of the family that once settled in the house here and there. The usual singing of praises for the couple who helped brought up what was once a tiny settlement into a buzzing town. Nothing substantial, nothing I didn't know before. Yes, it continues on like this for a good while. Until I come by the years after their deaths, okay? The people of Ansem might have loved Lord William and Lady Elizabeth Ermengarde, mourned their passing, and held them in high esteem in the years after. But it was their daughter that was remembered fondly by the townspeople, okay? If her parents built this town, Lady Charlotte was the one who made it prosper, okay? Remarkable considering it was a period of recovery from about a plague that killed half the town's population, including her parents. Oh no, it's the Black Plague. Alright, okay, so, whoa. What's surprising though? Ooh, is it the witch trial thingamajig? Free at last, heir puts a stop at to local slave trade. Oh, okay. So apparently her time also marked more than superficial changes to the place. Oh. And this is a microfisher machine. This is do I know this? What is this? I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know what this is. She moved things, changed laws, altered old customs and traditions. Yes, she ended slavery. If they were done on a woman's whimsy, it doesn't say, but she seems capable enough for more than that. Yes. In the gist of it, the town she rebuilt, it's what eventually grew to become Luxbourne City, while the nearby Ansem village remained as it was, a relic of the old. A frown swiftly forms in my face. Okay. So why is there a need to hide this? One by one I try to recall every lesson I've gone through, every book, paper, and journal I've read. None of those ever mentioned this. Yes. It's always the lord and the lady of the house, their endearing child, always an afterthought to those anecdotes, the one who always took her life in the end. Okay. Never someone who restored a town from the brink of collapse, or brought new ideas to it. Is it because she's a woman? That pisses me off. Well, it's the olden days, so, sexism. Sexism was a big thing. Granted, not everything is sunshine and rainbows, not all aspects of her can be considered admirable. Yes, but this is history. Some parts are bound to naturally delve into unpleasant territory whether I like it or not. Witch hunts, for example, became common near the end of her life. Oh, Luxbourne witch burns. There's the witch. Okay. Which would have been completely unremarkable and might have gone to become a mere footnote in history if it didn't involve Lady Charlotte and the very slave she saved. Okay. It caused quite a stir, enough to leave almost a week's worth of clippings. The girl was eventually burned, condemned by an entire town. Oh, so Charlotte saved the slave girl originally, but then turns out she's a witch, quote unquote, and so Charlotte, same girl who saved her, had her burned at the stake. Oh wow. At the word of Lady Charlotte alone, yes. But this doesn't really have anything to do with this curse, does it? I mean, you know what they say. It's like, nothing. What was it? The wrath of nothing is compared to a woman's scorn or something or shit like that. Yes, unless that woman following us and the slave are the same person. I think it is. A tale of revenge? How cliche. However, with the lack of accurate photographs, it's impossible to tell. Maybe if I squint, the illustration would start resembling her. I mean, so far from from my point of view, it looks exactly like her. But in my field, it doesn't work that way. It shouldn't work that way. I'll be the laughing stock of the community. This isn't going anywhere. Oh, but girl. Mentally exhausted, I take a careful step away from the screen, pressing a palm to my tired eyes. The lack of ample light in this area doesn't help. A headache already threatens to form at the back of my head, yet I'm nowhere near figuring things out. This is simply too much to take in all at once. Yes. I should have asked for someone's help. Maybe Isabella. Now I'm at a dead end. I start gathering everything around me and placing them back in their respective envelopes for storage, the motions no longer new after volunteering here a number of times. Okay. I didn't make much mess anyway, considering the lack of materials available to begin with. I'll have to look somewhere else. Okay. The where remains unknown, though. Yes. But just as I'm about to slip the... But just as I'm about to slip the last of the slides in, something catches my attention. What? My hand pauses, the microfiche halfway through its protective sleeve. This is one of the few I've set aside without taking a careful look at. It seems like a gossip column at first glance, but upon closer look, I slide it back to the reader, gently turning the dials in search of the page. Alright. It takes some time, but once the image becomes clear... Oh, okay. Ermengarde heir announces betrothal. Yes, we heard of that, right? They must have had this drawing commissioned for this announcement. Yes. I don't doubt it. The details are far more intricate, the likeness likely closer to how they might have appeared at the time. Damn, girl, she got long hair. They're both recognizable this way, closer to those paintings I've seen in the mansion. Yes. However, it's the man standing beside her, Edward Godfrey, according to the article, that caught my attention previously. It looks exactly like Luke. Her first cousin and eventually her fiancé. Oh yes, marrying your cousins was a thing back then. Maybe it's the posture or the manner in which he holds himself. Or maybe it's the shape of his eyes, though I can't be too certain about that until I've gotten a better reference. Nevertheless, there is a resemblance, yes. He looks eerily like... My head snaps up, glowering at whoever's running in the floor above. Hey now, you just interrupted my train of thoughts. Any day I'd march upstairs and reprimand whoever it is. This is a library, for heaven's sake, right? But now isn't the time. I've gotten what I need. Ooh, nice. Without wasting another minute, I hit the machine's print button for a copy of the page, while my other hand moves to put everything back into storage. Okay. A ragged exhale slips from me. Yeah. Relief perhaps, or maybe this is already exhaustion. Regardless, soon I'm closing my eyes as I wait for the printer to finish, if only to stave off a headache building up from everything. Yes. Okay. Sometime I've even began humming the same song again for comfort. Okay. Let's see what the journal has to say, probably about what she discovered. So yeah. With the help of Professor Andrew Clark, Rebecca was able to gain access to Luxborn's library restricted section. In there, she discovered numerous accounts about the Ermengarde, all hidden from the public. Her search was interrupted, however, when what? Oh my god, you can't leave me like that, girl. Okay. So she's humming for comfort, blah blah blah. She's despite my doubts about this, despite all the tension in my shoulders. This may be a small find, but at least I can start somewhere. Yes. We can start somewhere. Okay, there's a way out of this, hopefully. I know it. Alright, the printer sputters to a halt. I bet the letter's gonna be printed out to her, instead of the picture. However, its sound isn't what makes me snap my eyes open. What the fuck? Ah, my god. A chilly brush of air behind my back. This is a QTE right here. Brief enough for something sickening to suddenly lodge itself in my throat while I take in my surroundings. Okay. It's that suffocating sensation again, creeping to every part of me, crawling under my skin, draining me little by little of any strength. From that day in the mansion, from that brief moment at the school. Without delay, I grab the papers and make a quick beeline for the door, but she blocking my exit, girl. Oh, that's actually really creepy. My whole body freezes.
What are you doing, Miss Pink?
Girl, that ain't no voice to match you, girl. I hold my breath, not daring to make any noise. For a little while, only the sound of papers crumpling under my grasp fills the room, the excitement from earlier gone instantly, replaced by a cold, seeping dread spreading throughout my limbs. But more than the fear is the anger. It pains me to hear her using her own my own student's voice against me, and more than once I believed it was really her. She has no right. Girl, bitch.
Why don't you play with me?
Hell no, bitch! Although she hasn't made a move, if there isn't a wall behind me, I'll probably take a step back. Anything to put a distance between us, no matter how small, as long as I'm out of her reach. Girl. But I steel myself. Because if I do fall back, turn away from her, I'll be left with no way out. I am not dying here. Yes, girl, I love her, like her will. I'm like, I ain't dying here, girl. You think you scare me?
Miss Pink, don't be so rude. I'm waiting.
Girl, I'ma come to you soon, okay? Just leave me alone. I'm not afraid of you spook. This is one Scotswoman you aren't getting getting into an early grave without a fight. Yeah. Come at me. She was ready to throw some hands, Rebecca. I knew she gonna throw some hands at them demons. Oh shit. Oh man, I expected she'll lunge, prove to me she was a monster I expected she'll lunge, prove to me what a monster she is. Instead, all she gives me is a smile, twisted and gnarled. It's as if time has crawled to a stop at the sight of it. A split-second decision. About what? And before I know it, my body shifts, and I make a run for it? Oh girl, I'm scared! Eyes closing in anticipation, hand grabbing whatever's solid enough on the nearby table and hurling it at her. Oh my god. I don't bother looking if whatever I threw hits its mark. Oh, but it sounds like it did. I run as fast as my legs can carry me. Oh my god, I'm scared for you! Despite my heart threatening to burst out of my chest. But in this maze of bookshelves with the whole place almost void of people, is there even a place safe enough I can escape to? Head for the door, head upstairs! Girl, okay, no, I don't think we should go upstairs. I think we should head I think we should head for the door. Head for the door. I mean, or I don't even know. Head for the door because I think the door might be locked, but there's always an emergency exit, right? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I don't want to go upstairs though. Yo, I didn't even. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Shit, this is a toss-up. Oh my god, because if we go upstairs, that means we have no way down or out of the building, unless there's an elevator. But head for the door, it's like, well, there's a chance that she might have locked it. Oh my god, I mean, I'm taking a risk. Oh my god, is there even a place? Because, you know, in horror movies, you always have to be, in horror movies, like, you always yell at the person when they're trying to escape their own house from a killer inside. It's like they always run upstairs. It's like, why don't they go for the door? It's like, it's stupid. Oh my god. I mean, oh my god, I don't know. Okay, well, head for the door. If there's one, it is out of this room, out of this place, as far as anyone can get from her. I can think about the rest of it. I can think about the rest of what I can do after I'm outside, when there are other people I can ask for help. When she's not chasing me after like this. Yeah, when she's not chasing after me like this. There's no hesitation in my steps as I race for the restricted section's door, head downstairs, and barrel straight for the library's exit. Yes! Towards safety in a desperate bid for my life, library rules be damned. Yeah, library rules be damned. I can no longer hear her behind me, but I'm not taking any chances. Yes. A breath almost escapes me as I near the door. A little more. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, it's locked. When out of nowhere, a library cart careens from a blind corner and slams to my sides. Ow! Shit! My back hits the floor with a hard thud, and the impact completely knocking the breath out of me. The copper tang of blood gradually spreads over my tongue as I fight to get my bearings back. I force myself to move, even with the excruciating pain coursing through my limbs. The exit's almost there, if only I can... But there's no moment respite. Oh shit! The next thing I know, there's a heavy weight atop of me, and cold digits slide around my neck, tight like a vice, closing in, leaving me gasping for air. Through my blurred vision, I can only make out the hateful gleam, the spite in her eyes as she looms over my body, and her grip on my throat grows tight. And the grip on my throat grows tighter. Desperation kicks in. Kick her! My nails dig into her wrist as I struggle against her firm grip, trying to pry her fingers away. Let go! Kick her! Use your legs! Let me go! Oh, there we go. What? Oh, shit. What? 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 Oh. What? What? What am I doing? Oh. I did it! Yes! I did it! Okay, I didn't even know what the hell I was doing half the time. I don't think twice. I slammed my book into her face. Good on you, Rebecca, using anything you can as a weapon. My limbs are moving on their my limbs are moving on their own before what I could do. I'm like adrenaline, man. My limbs are moving on their own before what I did could fully register in my brain and my lungs could recover. Behind me, she lets out a cry, sharp, loud, and thunderous against the empty walls of the library. Bye, girl. I ain't gonna stick around for this. But the fear of her wails compares nothing to the relief washing over me when I finally make it out. Yes. My knees buckle as soon as my feet hits the pavement, its surface cold and hard against my skin. I've only been in there for a few hours, about 1 or 2 probably? I don't know anymore, it feels like an eternity all the same. My breathing hasn't slowed down yet, and I don't expect it after going through that. Yes. I probably look the most undignified creature on a Sunday morning right now, out of breath, disheveled, slumped here with a bloodied lip and all. Well, it don't matter if you look undignified or not, girl. You survived, okay? You got out. But at present, I simply can't bring myself to care, even when a few passersby start giving me a strange look. Strange looks, yes. Fuck them. Stare at me all you want, I don't give a single shite, yes. I'm alive, yes, I'm safe. This isn't the end yet, but I'm safe. And inside my bag is something that could get us out of this mess. Nothing definite yet, I don't want to get my hopes up, but it's still something. If Isabella is here, I'm sure she'll feel the same. She'll even be the first one who will put her faith on it. Wherever this will lead us to is a victory on its own. Now all that's left to find is the others, the rest of us trapped in this bloody nightmare. Right on cue, as if an answer to my previous thought, my mobile phone lets out a beep. I pick it up, simply hoping it'll be one of them. Oh my god. Only it's a voicemail that greets me. Ashton! Are you kidding me? From Ashton. There's a pang of disappointment, of course, but it brings some reassurance that nothing's happened to at least one of them.
Hey, Becca, call me back when you're free. We need to talk. ASAP.
Okay, cool. Alright. Oh yeah, he left a voicemail. I thought we were trying to make a call to him. Okay, cool. He ends it right there. The message less than a minute long, curt, and gives nothing away. I let it ease my worries regardless and do as he asked. Because this too is another triumph for us. One less thing to worry about. Okay. Oh my god. Oh, okay. And you know what? I'm just gonna try to finish this, you guys. We're on October 30th, and I want to really get this done, okay? There you go. Rebecca, our survivor. Jesus. Rebecca was seen limping out of the Luxbourne Public Library late Sunday morning. Checking her mobile, a lone voicemail from Ashton was in it, telling her that they need to talk ASAP. Okay. Is that the end? Yeah, is it at the end here? Yeah, there we go. I knew it, because figures, because like it would be really weird if we like kind of went onto something else in Rebecca's point of view when that just happened to us, because usually it ends off in something really traumatic to us happening with the ghost lady. So yes, so there we go. That's great. So I'm glad I took the time to actually kind of finish this like completely and end Rebecca's route here in this one episode, so that we can start on Ashton's point of view in the next one. Oh my god. Rebecca, damn girl, she is such a spitfire and I love her for it. Jeez. Anyways, glad she made it out alive. Glad that I was smart enough. I think I made the smart decision, because again, like who would run upstairs? That means you just trap yourself. Like sure, I think you can probably like run upstairs and hope that, you know, you can hide from her and that she'll lose interest, but like you really don't have anywhere to go afterwards, you know? So yeah, I think I did the smart thing. Okay, so yes, tune in next time, you guys, for the next episode of The Letter. We're going to start on Ashton's point of view, which I'm really super curious on, because again, he's the one, he's a non-believer, he's a total hardcore skeptic on this all. So I want to know if he actually has been seeing things and if he's just really super in denial about it. But like I want to know what his experience is with the curse thus far. So yes, tune in next time, you guys. I'll be sure to be an interesting point of view to look up on. So yeah, so until then, you guys, bye.
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock